Welcome to Office Hours. I'm Steve Drost. With me, as always, Will Kaplan. Of course, Will and I are both from the Quivr CRM team. Now, what is Quivr? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors, and our objective is simple. We want to help you run your business at peak efficiency. Now, each episode, we tackle a couple of cool items that came directly from our users who are trying to do just that, make their lives easier. Will, you know that if there's something I have to do, I don't know, more than once every couple of months, I'm going to template it out somehow, right?
That's the dream, right? Just make your life easier. We talk about it all the time, and email templates, that's such an opportunity for that. Like,
Yeah.
we send so much email. I mean, what an easy way to get that going, right?
Yeah. And where this came was in office hours not too long ago. A user was showing me their meeting follow-up process. And it was, they have like the root of the email. How they elect to do it is after the meeting, they write their notes summary to a client in an email. But I watched them write their intro paragraph and the outro paragraph in addition to the meat inside of it. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why aren't you using an email template? You shouldn't have to write the hot client. It was nice to meet with you. I hope, it was great catching up, blah, 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 blah. Like, that should just be done for you. And we started chatting with other attendees at office hours. And I think email templates is one of the most underutilized feature inside of Quivr.
And it seems like it's a really easy thing to do. It does take a little bit of finesse. You have to kind of get used to thinking in a way of creatively making, like threading that needle of this is a template, but it may not read exactly like a template. Like, people aren't going to feel like this got templated. And so you have to kind of like be a little bit creative or get some help and, ask around of how to kind of get on that path of, I need to template this. It's not that important. I may not need to, have that very specific detail about this household,
There you go.
but I can still make it sound like I was the one that was sitting down and typing this out as
Hmm.
I sent it. And that's like, we talked about, I think, the theater of being an advisor before. I consider this to be just one of those things. Like, you want them to feel like, wow, Steve is really talking just to me. But at the same time, like, there's a lot of efficiency to be gained
Yeah.
by not just
Yep.
talking to you.
And I think this is sort of a two-pronged approach. The first is if you find yourself sending a similar email, like I said, even every couple of months, it should be an email template. And examples of that would be meeting follow-up, scheduling a meeting, which, by the way, you can embed URLs in this. So scheduling a meeting, you could have 15 different email templates for this, because maybe you use a different scheduling link for the first prospect meeting and the second prospect meeting and the third prospect meeting, and your fall review session and your spring review session and your reminder to schedule your fall review session and your reminder to schedule your spring review session, right? You can have all of these different link or email templates and just name them. Schedule dash, fall session, first attempt, schedule dash fall session, second attempt. And I have that. We probably have in my firm 15 to 20 different scheduling templates because we use specific URLs for each of them so it gets on the calendar correctly. Right? But scheduling, follow up, requesting a tax return, requesting an estate plan, follow up after a prospect meeting, following up after you get a yes from a client, right? You have that big prospect packet or new client packet that includes your ADV, your CRS, your privacy policy, all of those things. You should never write those emails. They should always be templated. So, all right, first thing, and I agree with you on that one, Will, is anything you're doing every few months, you should have templated. But I think the more important topic here is the theater. The theater. And I love what you said. So for example, let's go back to my meeting follow-up template. My meeting follow-up is hi, insert first names only. So hi, Jim and Pam, comma, return new paragraph. And it does not say, hi, Jim and Pam, it was great meeting with you last Thursday, blah, blah, blah. It was great meeting with you. That's it.
And that's such a good example because you've now transitioned from having to go in and edit that and change it to make sure that it applies to each and every time you send it out. You have confidence now that, like, this just works. And like, I do something very similar. Great to see you earlier this week. Thank you so much for your time this week.
Earlier this week. Because earlier this week, what if I met with them on a Friday and I sent it out
Right.
on a Monday? Like, that doesn't work. But again,
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a fairly informal person with my clients. I don't, I do a lot of dashes in email. I'm not perfectly grammatically correct, but I do that on purpose because that's who I am as a person. I'm fairly informal. I'm fairly to the point. My emails aren't typically long, a lot of bullets. And my clients, honestly, they probably like that because if they didn't, they wouldn't be a client. I'm not writing novels to them. So, hey, it was great meeting with you. Exclamation mark is exactly how I would talk, right? And maybe that does or doesn't jive with your communication style, but following up after a prospect meeting, hey, informal first names, hi, Jim and Pam, comma, return. It was so great meeting with you. And I appreciate your openness during our conversation, it's great to learn more about who you are. And then also, are they married or not married? Are they single or not single? So you don't want to use words like both. It was great. It was great. Thanks for opening up! Exclamation mark. Not thank you to both of you for sharing. Well, what if it's a single person? So you want to write it where like any of your audience can capture that, right? So it was great meeting with you. That can be one or two people. And thank you so much for your willingness to share! Exclamation mark or period.
And that's the trick. I mean, you have to kind of get into this mindset of I've written something. Can this apply to a one person household, a two-person household? Like, how am I going to use it? Because I want to be able to have that replayability, use it again and
Yes.
again and again. Yeah.
And obviously, everybody that knows me knows where I'm going with this. I'm not the one sending those emails. Not even a chance, right? Meeting follow up for a third prospective client meeting. I send we do the 1-page plan and then a proposal and timeline. So there's 2 PDFs. After that meeting, my mom, my admin, is taking those 2 documents, attaching to the template, sending it, and it looks like it comes from me. But the verbiage looks personalized, but it's not. It gets sent quickly enough with their documents where it appears as if it is a unique email, but it's not. So after I'm done with that meeting, I'm done. I'm done. Scheduling meetings, same thing. Like, I'm not sending those. So by templating these emails, not only are you able to delegate things to other people, but you can't make mistakes. It's consistent, right? And then also think about this. Templates can be used for singular emails, right? Meeting follow up, I'm sending it to just one couple, one person, whomever. But let's say we're requesting tax returns. You think in my tax return request email, I'm sending it to one person? No, I'm sending it to all of my clients who I want their tax return. And also, do you think in that email template, I'm going to say the year tax return we want? It's, hey, I hope tax return season didn't suck. Not joking. Like, I think that's my intro line. Now that you're done, can you please upload your return through this secure link? When you give it to us, we're going to review it, blah, 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 blah. We'll talk about it at our next meeting. Let me know if you have any questions.
And there's some clever ways to sort of deepen the sense of they're talking to me too. Like when I was back practicing, my upload link for each family was unique. So like you'd get this is the Kaplan Family Secure Upload page. And what I was doing is basically the same thing that all of our users can do. You just take a custom field, throw it on the household. Here's that specific URL, and that gets mail merged in. And so you can like facilitate that illusion of I'm only talking to you, Steve, by putting stuff like that in. And it's not to say that everybody needs to go, use their own upload link. Like you can, I know a lot of people use kind of a generic upload link. That was just the way that I was using it at the time. But yeah, I mean, through manipulating URLs and manipulating language and, choosing how you sort of position these requests, you can get a lot of utility out of these templates.
I mean, ACH outs. My mom, our ACH out template, I'm not going to lie. I don't even really know what it says, but I do know that we've changed it enough where we don't write the account anymore. And I don't even know if we write the dollar amount anymore. I think the email just says, we received it. It's been in process. You'll receive the funds in the next 2 to 3 business days. Let us know if you have any questions. And selfishly, we started with you're going to get $3,000 from your Charles Schwab account ending in 732, and the money's going to be deposited into your US bank account ending in 444. It'll arrive on, October 13th, 2025. And I realized people don't care. Our open rates on those emails were so low. People just on the subject, like withdrawal confirmed or something like that, and they were just done. So it's like I just kept peeling it back, peeling it back, peeling it back. And now it literally just says, I'm pretty certain, because again, my mom may have changed it since then, but all it says is your funds are on the way. You'll have them in 2 to 3 business days. Let us know if you have any questions. Now, what did we just do? That is a consistent email where we can't make a mistake, can't write the wrong number. We can't write anything wrong. It's just done.
And I think it's important also to note that like you're still highlighting the important part of it, which is reaching out to the client, letting them know that something happened. I mean, when I used to send that almost exact same email, it was very similar. It was like, hey, here's what you can expect. It usually takes a couple of days for these ACHs to go through. If you don't see it, please reach out to me. And then I would even send a second one after those 2 or 3 days to say like, hey, you should have gotten it by now. And if you haven't, let me know, because then I want to follow up on it and figure out, what's going on. And it's the touches that I was valuing.
100%.
Being able to come back and say like, hey, I'm thinking about you. We did some work for you. I want you to be involved. But it wasn't necessarily the content of the email itself that was so important.
Yeah. So this might be our longest office hours ever, which I apologize for that. But I think this is really important. I do. I think this is a huge, like I said, underutilized feature inside of Quivr. If you have any questions about it, we have a ton of content in the community about this. Otherwise, always welcome at office hours. We can talk about these things, give you help. I mean, even like, we've done conversations on AI before. Take your email today, upload it to AI, and just say, make this date and person neutral so that I can reuse it regardless of the situation. And ChatGPT or Grok or whatever they're called, they'll give you ideas on how to do this. But um, if you're not a Quivr user, that's okay. Remember, everybody makes mistakes. Nobody is perfect, but it's not too late. Come schedule a demo, hang out with me, hang out with Will, and let's see what Quivr can do live for you.